Inside the Man Cave with Johnny Compian.
Oh, yeah. Hey, put your finger in my fun hole.
It's beautiful.
Graphic language will be used throughout this show.
1, 2, 3, 4. Give me the heavy metal devil horns. Now lock them with me.
This is Inside the Man Cave.
Inside the Man Cave podcast show. Follow me on Twitter at Johnny Compian. Appreciate you coming back and checking out a couple of my videos on YouTube. You can subscribe to my channel, click on it, share it with your friends, tell anybody that you can about it, spread the word. That helps me out. Appreciate it. As always, it's good to be back in here talking a little bit of news about either sports, music, kind of anything, right? Anything goes on this podcast. And I've been kind of sitting around. I was actually in Austin yesterday doing a show, one of the podcast shows that I produce. And before I left, I always check my emails. I'm always kind of going back and forth on social media as well, on Twitter. And I see rumblings of PANTERA getting back together. And earlier in that yesterday morning, I had seen on Twitter there was Rex Brown had a new endorsement for Gibson. He has a new Firebird bass, beautiful. Man, I wish I could get one of those. Beautiful Firebird bass. Love the color, sounds great. So he did a little thing on YouTube. Check it out. If not, I'll put a link up on my channel so you can check out that sponsorship that he picked up by Gibson. And what a coincidence, right? They were making moves already. Phil Anselmo, the lead singer of PANTERA, formerly of PANTERA, because they had been broken up for a while, and Rex Brown signed a contract to do a North American tour. And I kind of was like, oh, wait a minute. We're moving way too quick for this. But there had been talks all along. And if I'm not mistaken, Rex Brown said, because he kept hearing that, well, who would play in place of Dimebag Darrell, who has passed on or was murdered on stage while playing with his second band, Damage Plan, in 2002. So when that happened, I remember I think I talked about that story. I was working overnights at a news station here in San Antonio, and I would come in early to get prepared for the morning show. So I would help out with production, work in the newsroom. I was kind of an all-around guy. So anyway, I was kept my eye for the wire, what they call, in the newsroom, and there was a story that was breaking, and it talked about Dimebag, getting shot at this bar while playing a concert with Damage Plan, right in front of his brother Vinnie Paul. So that was pretty tragic for everybody that followed the band. I've been a huge PANTERA fan for years, and I'm so fortunate to be able to see them multiple times. Saw the Cowboys from Hell concert at it was a dance club, like a new wave club here in San Antonio off of 410. I think it was called Rock Wave. It was a little new wave bar right off of 410, and they decided to put PANTERA in there and play. It was the Cowboys from Hell tour. It was crazy. I remember I was working for Z-Rock at the time, and we were in town. And so we go to the show. It's sold out. Walk in, and we had some passes to go back in the back area and kind of just look around, and it was pretty cool seeing Pantera so pure and how quick they progressed and became the iconic heavy metal band that they were. It was so cool being able to partake in a lot of different, like the Ozfest. I remember seeing them in Dallas with Danzig and Slayer. Just amazing. I remember getting into town and just being shit-faced before getting into this Ozfest, and go in, and I think Danzig was playing. So get in, and they stop, and they do the switch over, the transition, and Pantera comes on and just blows the doors. I remember looking behind me, and you can see up in the lawn seats. It was just up there at the lawn. There was a huge fire. I'm like, what the hell is that? Well, people were they would take their shirts off and just start a pile, and they would just get this fire pit going on. And I think the people at the venue just kind of lost control and like, fuck it, I'm not getting near that, because there's people jumping through it. It was insane. It was crazy to see from a distance. It looked like something out of a Slayer album cover or something. It was insane. But Pantera just ripped it up. I remember from start to end, always fun shows, just a lot of energy. Just listening to Dimebag play live, it was just cool. And every time they came around, which they did a lot because, they were from Texas, they were from Dallas, the Fort Worth area. And so whenever they'd come to San Antonio, those guys would just, I remember seeing them at Sunken Gardens Theater, and that was crazy because at Sunken Gardens, they had these seats, right? They were just I think they were nailed down to the cement. And next thing you know, Pantera is just killing it, of course, and everybody's fucking wasted. And you see these fucking metal chairs just flying all over the place, and it was this craziness. Lots of beer, loud music, crazy fucking people. It was just great to be a part of. So fortunate to be able to talk about this, because now they have confirmed that the boys from Pantera, the remaining members, Phil Anselmo and Rex Brown, have recruited Dimebag's replacement for this tour, because Dime is gone, and it's just so tragic. But Zakk Wylde, who is gonna play that part, and I'm sure he's gonna do a great job and just pay great tribute to Dime, because Zakk Wylde was one of Dime's good friends. When this tragedy happened, Zakk Wylde, it was killing the guy. He would come on and he would just be bawling man, just lost my best friend, and everything has been and will always be for him. I think Dime, I think he wants to pay tribute. This is a perfect opportunity for Zakk Wylde to do that. And there's a lot of opinions going on out there about who would play these parts to fill the gaps, because Vinnie Paul and Dimebag Darrell, they were Pantera. They were the fucking, they were Pantera, the backbone and just everything about it. No disrespect to Rex Brown. He held his own. Phil held his own. And there's people that are not happy, of course. On the socials, your people are really opening up about this, saying, "Hey, I don't know how I feel about this. If you lost Eddie, and then you would lose Alex. You can't go on. I saw this from a good friend who's from San Antonio, who plays with the National Act, and he was expressing his opinion about it, and I respect it. He plays music for a living, and he sees a lot and hangs out with a lot of these guys, and he's done a lot. This guy has done a lot in the rock and roll scene in San Antonio and currently in LA. And he's like, it's a money grab. And I mean, I don't want to mention his name, but it's out there because you're going to hear it the next 72 hours. That's all you're going to hear about, and leading up to this, for this reunion. And the drummer from Anthrax, Charlie, is going to join the Pantera core, and they're going on a North American tour. Will you be going to check this out? I mean, I don't know how I feel about it. I'm all for it. I support it, of course. It's going to happen. They've signed a deal already. I just don't know how I feel. As a true Pantera fan, I just don't know how I feel about it. I know that's kind of contradicting just the way I sound about it, but I kind of don't like it. I don't like it because the two brothers separated from when this band broke up. There was a lot of different rumors about why the band broke up and, who left and this and that. And that's why Damage Plan was started, and they kept on. And there were so many storylines and tentacles to this band, Pantera. And after the two main brothers are gone, and they the guys that they were not talking to, or I don't know about Rex either. I was reading that book, that Pantera book, that Rex Brown did a few years back, and a lot of good stuff in there. A lot of good stuff. If you get a chance, I'll put a link up if you can pick it up on which book I'm talking about. Just a lot of good. I was reading a couple different biographies, and I happened to run into Rex Brown's, and I was like, I got to read this. And I was like halfway through it, and I started reading the Howard Stern, and then started reading the Black Crowes drummer. He released a whole story about the Crows. So I was just kind of in between these books, just kind of going back and forth. A lot of good stuff in there. If you're a fan of any of these bands that I'm talking about, go out and check those out, because there's a lot of stuff that you hear about or you read about and nobody talks about it. You hear rumors, but hearing it from these guys is it's pretty compelling stuff. So if you get a chance, check out that book. And there was a rumor too that, I don't know, because now, Zakk Wylde is going to play with Pantera. It's confirmed through Billboard. So I'm just having a hard time with it. I'm going to have to process this for a little bit, and I'm sure I'll come back and let it, ponder in a little bit, and just let it set in, and then I'll ponder a little bit more on it as time goes on, because I don't know if I will go to witness that. I think I'll just wait and check it out on YouTube, because Phil Ansamo, he has his he has a couple of side projects, and they did some Pantera stuff. Every time Phil's on stage with his bands, he'll always throw some nuggets in there. And I think one of the I think Phil and the Illegals were doing Pantera. They were on the road doing some Pantera stuff, because I saw some video on YouTube. And I was cool with that, because it was just Phil. You know, he was a singer, and I'm sure he wrote some of those lyrics, and he can sing those songs. I was fine with it, but now you're gonna regroup, go on the road, and awake this giant. And is it gonna do that band justice? You know, of course the music will be there and the vocals will be there, but how do you feel how it ended? Like there was no chance that band was ever going to get back together again when Dime and Vinny were on this earth. I don't think there was any way they were going to get back together on this stage. There was a lot going on. And now that the two brothers are gone, the two main guys of Pantera, you're going to say, okay, they're gone. We can go ahead and come back and cash in on this. That's what it is. That friend of mine on Facebook and Twitter, he's absolutely right. You know, they're going to cash in on that. And I'm sure Dime's wife, I want to see what she's got to say about this. I don't think she's come out yet. I'm going to go check on Twitter and see if she has any kind of comment on this, or if she's okay with this. I think it's Dime's girlfriend. I don't know if it's his wife. I don't think it's his wife. I'm not too sure about that, but I think it's his girlfriend. Yeah, I don't know how she feels. I'd love to hear what she has to say on, because she was the closest to Vinny and Dime, I'm sure. So be very interesting. But I'm sure that as it gets closer, and all of a sudden you're like, what? They're playing tomorrow night in Austin. Friday night. Why not? Let's go. That's probably what's going to happen. But I just, right now, it's all fresh, and I kind of don't, I don't know how I feel about it. I really can't. Of course, I can give you my opinion, a little of my opinion, and the breaking story that, you know, they've already kind of got the four guys together. They've confirmed, and they're going to go on the road. So you will be hearing Pantera. Everyone, the young generation that's coming up that loves heavy metal, you young cats, you guys go get it. You guys go listen to that, go check it out. But it would never be like the real thing. Of course not. I don't know how powerful it's going to be. But Pantera was fucking powerful. Dime and Vinny just, oh man. So yeah, I got mixed feelings about it. I need some rehearsal video. They need to come out and do some rehearsal video soon. That would be cool to see. Of course, we all want to see it, right? We want to witness it. We want to see that. Tweet at me at Johnny Compian on Twitter. And you can also support the podcast show on anchor.fm/Johnny5150.